In the great presidential race of 2012, in what was supposed to be the politically white-hot month of July 2012, Republican Mitt Romney was stuck in the absolute doldrums. Sometimes he was polling a point or two ahead of President Obama that month, maybe, but more often Governor Romney was trailing. His fellow Republicans were carping publicly about how the Romney campaign was being run. But most of all, what was going on in July was that Mitt Romney was being dogged by the question of his old tax returns, which he was refusing to release. Business Week, what's Romney hiding in his tax returns? Reuters said, what might be hiding in Romney's tax returns? Or this one, why Mitt Romney won't release his tax returns? 6 theories. This was becoming too much of the focus, right? Republicans were in danger of their candidate getting swamped before he ever got to the November election. Mr. Romney was getting swamped by the mystery of the tax returns, which he would not release. And so Republicans at that time in the campaign, in July, they were trying as hard as they could to get the focus of the campaign off of what they considered to be these little distractions about Mitt Romney, all these small bore questions about Mitt Romney's character and his financial history. They were trying to get the focus off those meddling questions and instead turn the focus to big ideas like the Republican vision for the country, the clash of big different ideas about where the country should go. Republicans were stepping in as of July 2012 to try to help the Romney campaign refocus. Some of them were carping, some of them were trying to help. And notably, among those trying to help was their future vice presidential pick, Congressman Paul Ryan.
What I think this all means, Maria, is whoever wins this election basically is going to determine what this all looks like next year. Yeah, we're stuck with this current situation, and the logjam that has to be broken, unfortunately, is going to have to come up on November 6th by the voters of this country to decide which of these two futures do they want. And what we're saying is, here's what we will do if we win this election. Here's what the tax system is going to look like. Here's what we're going to do on tax policy, on spending policy, on sequester, fiscal cliff, and all of these things. We're trying to be as clear as possible to the country so they know what they're getting if they support us.
So they know what they're getting if they support us. Whoever wins this election. Congressman Paul Ryan saying whoever wins gets to decide which plan for taxes and spending the country is going to get. We are trying to be as clear as possible, he says, about the choice between our Republican plan and the Democrats' plan. That's what this election is going to be about. Make a choice, America. Choose the Republican idea or choose the Democratic idea, and then we'll have to live with it. That's what Paul Ryan said last July. Come November, we did get to make that choice. We had that vote. Mr. Ryan himself was on the ticket as Mitt Romney's running mate. They were effectively running on Mr. Ryan's budget. We had that vote, and the Romney-Ryan plan for the country lost by a lot. On the scale of presidential elections, this was not especially close. The country voted, and they voted against the Romney and Ryan vision for America by a clear margin. But hey, election schmelection. Maybe Mitt Romney gets to go off and ride the rides at Disneyland and give speeches and whatever now, but Paul Ryan is still a congressman. Paul Ryan still has to make a living. So today, Paul Ryan trotted out the Paul Ryan budget again, as if the country never voted on it at all. Really, it is almost exactly the same budget that the Republicans ran on just a few months ago when they lost. The new version, sure, kills Medicaid more than it kills Medicare, but it is the same idea. Just like the old Paul Ryan budget, the new one comes with giant tax cuts for the richest people in the country. And just like last time, Mr. Ryan does not say how the government would make up for the trillions in lost revenue due to the tax cuts. Trust him, it's magic. Give rich people a tax cut and pay for it with humana, humana, humana. You just slash spending and cut taxes and somehow it all works out. Do you remember how Mitt Romney got pilloried for this during the election, for refusing to say how his tax plan would work? He said he'd give us all the details after the election. Do you remember the website that mocked the Romney-Ryan Trust Us plan? With the button for Get the Details that you ended up just chasing all over the screen because you were never going to get the details? Do you remember that Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan lost because Americans voted against them and their no details, we'll tell you later, tax cuts for the rich, kill Medicare plan for the country? Bringing back essentially the same plan you just got defeated for seems like a weird way to respond to that defeat. Republicans seem to think they can try the same thing, only they will get different results this time. Democrats, on the other hand, think that this is going to turn out the same this time as it did last time. The Democrats' response to Mr. Ryan revealing his budget today was almost gleeful. Already, the Democrat Senate campaign has announced plans for how the party will run against 16 Republicans by pinning the Paul Ryan budget on them as frequently as they can from now until the next election in November 2014. Republicans have seen how this movie ends really, really recently. They have responded by casting themselves in the sequel. Get your tickets now. This is going to be a good one.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. We do not give up. Expect surprises. Subscribe.